Hey guys, Sublord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Collector Edition Year 2 Batman, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. And yes, if you thought we were getting a break from the Caped Crusader just because we looked at a Deadshot figure earlier, you were sorely mistaken. However, I'm very happy to inform you guys that this is a very good figure of the Caped Crusader, and the one that's known for fighting that character Mattel made years ago, known as the Reaper. A very cool character, and the reason I say that is because this guy comes with one of his weapons. I'm guessing he took it from him during a fight, but not for nothing, I think this would be really funny. Some people would consider it trolling, but I think it'd be funny if McFarlane Toys made a Reaper figure. That's not the funny part, wait for it. And only gave him one of these. So you had to buy this figure to get the second one. I don't know, man. That seems like a very McFarlane and or Hasbro thing to do. Include an accessory you want for one figure with another figure. It's good from a marketing standpoint, but not good if you don't want to be known as that dick that did that. So there is that. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get to the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at the rest of the accessories that this Year 2 Batman comes with, starting off with the collectible trading card. Some cool artwork there. On the back there's a bio. Probably says he fights the Reaper somewhere on there. Wonder if he's a Blue Oyster Cult fan. That said, we do have some alternate hands. These alternate choke-a-bitch hands. I don't know what you want to call these. They're almost like trigger fingers, but they're not. But they are. A lot of the Hush figures come with these, I think. And I think the Batman from the Spawn 2-pack actually has those. And then he doesn't have hands that came with him on him. These are the hands that came with him. It's just the same fist and grip hand from before with the incorrect pattern on the gloves. If I keep this fist here and bring out one of the other hands, you can see that these are smooth. These have knuckles on them. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if that's a thing in Year 2 if he has two different sets of gloves, but it would be nice in the last year of this line that they got the dang hands right, but it is what it is, unfortunately. That said, he also comes with a gun, of all things, which can go in this holster on his chest here. I think like this. I'm trying to remember how Nick Fury from Marvel stores his pistol on his chest. You know, the white one with the brown and gray hair, not the Maca Sam Jackson one that we're all familiar with nowadays because of the MCU, which I got mixed opinions about that mess right now, but this is a DC video, so we don't got time for none of that. That said, side note, on top of the fact that's all the accessories you get with this figure, I initially ordered this guy from BBTS, but I'm trying to get some videos done without shipping stuff so I can let the pile of loot accumulate more items over a longer period of time. You know how it is. The more items I got, the more I feel it's worth to ship, despite the fact I'm going to get hit right in the arse with that sales tax when I decide to do that. But long story short, I picked this guy up at my local GameStop. Been picking a lot of stuff up at my local GameStop. It's the only GameStop in my area for like an hour radius, so I'm not sure if there are any more GameStops, but that's the one I go to. They had this guy in the back. They went and pulled him out for me, so shout out to them. But I initially had the deluxe version of Year 2 Batman on pre-order, again from BBTS, because that's where I buy most of my stuff. And I canceled that because I don't know if it has all the color that this guy has. Like, I don't know if the face is painted or the belt or anything like that, because it's the black and white sketch edition. It very well could have all that other stuff painted, but I didn't want to risk getting a black and white version of this figure, so I just canned that and bought the cheaper $30 one, because I think that deluxe one was $50 if I'm not mistaken. And I also heard that a lot of people had a lot of problems with the first one, with the arms breaking and stuff. So, yeah, we're going to dodge that bullet and just take a closer look at this Batman here. It's got the hockey puck display stand we're used to seeing with all McFarlane Toys releases. I will say, some of these have had some schmutz on the bottom as of late. Particularly on, I think, this side. So it must be where they come out the mold. But, yeah, I've had to chip some excess plastic off just to get stuff to stand. But that said, the hands I have on this figure, going back to that note, are actually from the Cowardly Lot Batman, because they're just black hands, and they actually snap onto the ball pegs, or ball hinges, a little better. So that's what I did. If they don't match, oh well, tough crap, kid. But as far as this figure goes, his cape is cool. It's crazy sculpted, like it's all over the place, but it's nice and soft, so it's not gonna weigh him down as much as I had thought. I thought this was like gonna be a Spawn 2-pack Batman scenario where this thing was just gonna be like a freaking shell and you couldn't do anything with it. You can actually do quite a bit with it, so that's a plus. And surprisingly enough, I say that, he is somewhat stable with this big cape, so you know, take that for what it's worth. Though it probably helps if the legs are lined up. There we go. But yeah, man, look at that. You can stand up without the stand. But as far as articulation goes, his head is on a double ball peg. What? On the Hush body buck, yeah. Very pleasantly surprised by that. He can look up a little bit. He can look down. He can tilt side to side. He's got the long ears, which I always like Batman having long ears, especially when they make them look like blades, like in the Arkham games. Let me know what you prefer in the comments. Do you like the long ears, or do you like the little short ears? Short ears probably more practical, not gonna lie, but the long ears look badass, so I tend to lean towards the long ears. Said shoulders can pop out, not that far. Go back down or rotate forward and back. He's got that butterfly, that beautiful butterfly in there. That works good. He's got a bicep twist. That works fine. He's got double elbow, which is a little tough to move, but it does work. You just gotta pop it and get it moving. Oh, gee whiz. Almost pinched my finger there. He's got the ball hinge wrists that will hinge, rotate, and swivel. Again, these are the Cowardly Lot hands, so they actually pop onto those ball hinges. Unlike the Cowardly Lot Batman, I didn't pop this guy's arm off trying to shift the little socket piece for the butterfly around, so that was nice. That said, let me put him in a T-pose here. His torso can rotate at the diaphragm. You can also lean back and forth a little bit and tilt a little bit, not a ton. He does have a waist twist. That does work, I swear. It's just stiff as hail. There you go. It does lean a little bit too, but you're not going to get a ton out of that. That said, I'm probably just going to have this Batman standing there for the most part, so it doesn't really matter. His hips will kick out, back down, forward and back. Not the tightest back and forth on that hip. Not really on that one either. But the in and out's tight, so that's good enough. He's got a thigh cut, believe it or not. He's got a little bit of one on both sides. He's got a double jointed knee. That can bend that far. So you can almost kick himself in the butt. There. But if you bend the knee like that, you can actually stand him up worth of crap. Because the thing with this body is, if you straighten the knees out all the way, he's not going to stand very well. I kind of talked about this in the Cowardly Lot video, but if you bend the knees, the top joint, one click, it doesn't look too egregious, and he will stand a little easier. That said, he does have a swivel in the foot with a hinge and a rocker And he's got toe joints that aren't too loose on either side. So, very solid figure. More solid than I thought he was going to be, if I'm being honest with you. I did not have the highest expectations for this Batman, but I'm glad that I picked him up over the sketch edition because A, I saved 20 bucks, and B, I like the cape. I actually do like this plastic cape. I like this kind of pissed off face he's got. I like the fact that he comes with a freaking gun. Batman don't usually roll like that, but when he does, you know shit's about to get real. So, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, man, I dig this figure. I think he's cool. I'm sure people are sick of Batman at this point, but I'm not. You know, there are people out there who aren't sick of Spider-Man. I think there'd be people out there who aren't sick of Batman either. So, with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Year 2 Batman in his Big R's cape, alongside the other figures available in this collector edition wave. We have old Floyd, what a ridiculous name for a character, Lawton, aka Deadshot, as well as this Buck Rogers looking fella, Adam Strange, who are literally being pushed off screen by Batman's cape. It's okay, though, because despite its issues, I have to say this is one of the better collector edition waves from the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. As I mentioned in the Deadshot review earlier today, you don't need the Platinum Chases, and for the most part, they've been relatively easy to come by, along with the regular edition, so that deserves 2 thumbs up right there. I'm doing it behind camera, because this is not a segment of the video where I show my hands very much, other than doing this. Getting these 2 out of the way, so we can make way for our 2 regulars, which I don't know if this is actually going to work because of this cape, but here's Brother Mandibilith and current 11 Spawn, who, yeah, is just... He's about neck and neck with Batman in terms of height, but in terms of getting pushed out of frame, he is, yeah, he's missing an arm there. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the hands I wanted to use not fitting quite right, granted, I was able to switch those out with the Cowardly Lot hands, but that's besides the point. I have to say that I thoroughly enjoy this Year 2 Batman and think he's getting a bad rap because of, well, the hands not matching exactly is an issue, but I think this is one of the better body bucks for anyone from the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line, although, other than Batman, I'm not sure if it's been utilized for any other characters at this point, and since McFarlane Toys is losing the license, they don't have a lot of time to use this body buck for somebody else. I'm surprised they never used it for a Superman, but hey, it is what it is. I like this figure, although I'm very curious if we will get a Reaper to go with him, and if Reaper will only come with one sickle weapon, and you have to get the other one from this figure. That's good from a marketing standpoint, and a making De Niro standpoint, but you look like a bit of a dick if you do that, McFarlane, so maybe don't, but I'll have a chuckle about it, because I bought this figure. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.